Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Cody Pfau, a junior wrestler from Parachute, Colorado, became the most outstanding wrestler at the WCWA Championships this past weekend and won her second consecutive national title at 109. And Cody, tell us about that championship match. It was against the only wrestler who had defeated you this year, so talk about the revenge factor there.
Well, I've wrestled her quite a few times throughout the past 2 years, and she wrestles the same against me, but different against me than everyone else. And the way she wrestles me is pure defense, and that's really frustrating to wrestle someone who is not attempting to do any moves themselves. It puts you in a different situation where you have to be the more vulnerable wrestler, and that tends to be how she beats me. Is I get frustrated and I put myself in more vulnerable positions.
Each of your national tournament matches ended in a fall. You have the single season record for pins and could match the career record next season. What has gone into your style?
I just prefer to pin people, get the match over with.
How have you gone about perfecting that?
You can't perfect anything in a sport. It's always a constant. You can have better muscle memory, you can have better body awareness, but you can't perfect anything, and that's one of the things every athlete knows, that you're constantly working on it.
You've had a great season this year, going 42-1. If you could pick one highlight out of this season, what would it be?
There's really no highlight. Like, getting to spend time with my team is the best part. So just like getting to spend time with my team.
You're going to participate in the Olympic trials in April. What are you looking forward to with that?
It's just another tournament, and to say that you're expecting something is going to mess with how you wrestle. You can't go into any match expecting something. You go in confident and you go in ready, but you're not swayed one way or the other.
You were the second girl to win a state tournament wrestling match in the state of Colorado, and only off by 2 minutes. One right before you.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was really exciting. It was my freshman year, her sophomore year, so we were right there. We both pinned our matches pretty fast, and sadly we had both only won that one match that year. I hadn't won another match until my senior year, and then my senior year I won a championship round match, so that was a first.
What's your major here at OCU?
My major is cell and molecular biology.
So what are your career goals when wrestling is over?
Ideally, I would like to be a pathologist, but to do that I would have to go to med school, and I'm not sure about the realistic possibilities of doing that after I'm done wrestling, because I don't want to be done wrestling till I'm like 30. So without that, I might be a mortician or go into a lab job, research. I haven't really decided.
All right, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar of the Week, Cody Pfau, and you can follow the wrestling teams on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to men's basketball coach Vinay Patel. The Stars moved into sole possession of third place in the Sooner Athletic Conference with Monday's win. And coach, in the game against Southwestern Christian on Monday, you won that game in dramatic fashion in the final minute. Recap what happened in that game.
You know, we knew going in it was a very big game for both teams. We're trying to get some separation because there's a lot of teams jumbled up in the middle of the league, and so it was a big game going in for us, no question, and for them. So we knew both teams were going to give everything they had, and I got to give our guys a lot of credit. We put a nice game plan together, and I thought we did a good job of staying with it and executing it throughout the game and giving ourselves a chance to win at the end.
You've mentioned the effort that this team puts forth each and every game as keys to their victories. Where do you think that comes from with these guys?
It's just something we preach every day. We write on the board for every game, play hard, play smart, play together. And we always talk about it starts with playing hard. And I always kind of break it down into stages for our team. And I always say stage one is our effort. And we can't get to stage two as far as game planning and guarding screens or things like that unless we accomplish stage one things first, like playing hard, effort, toughness, things like that. And so I think the more we preach it, the more they're kind of buying into it and just kind of taking a toughness attitude. And I think that helps us because, we're not the biggest team in the league. And I think you could see that on Monday when we played Southwestern Christian. They had a tremendous size advantage over us, but we bring different guys in. Vinay Patel had a huge game and comes up with 10 big rebounds. Alex James goes right at their best interior kid right off the bat. And Dorian Gigger, game in and game out has proven he's one of the best rebounders in the league. So, just to get those kind of minutes from those guys, and I think it all comes back to how hard they play. So I think you can see that helps them be successful on the floor.
Two of your leaders as far as scoring is concerned, Terrence Bonhomme and Lou Dunbar, have been kind of the clutch players in the close games so far. Dunbar had the big game on Monday against Southwestern. Tell us about the performances of those two guys.
Lou, when he gets hot, he can really, really fill it up, and we went to him early, called a few sets for him to get some looks. Teams are really pressuring our perimeter players right now with those two in particular because of how well they've been shooting the basketball. Both of them have been over 40% from the three-point line, which is phenomenal, and Lou for the longest time has been leading the league in three-point percentage, so he's been getting crowded on the perimeter. So we called a few sets early to get him some looks. He knocked them down, and he's just one of those kids that if he sees the ball go in, it could be a really big night for him, and it proved to be the case on Monday. He got some good looks, and if he can start hitting shots, then he can start making even tougher shots, so I think he becomes a harder matchup. But his best basketball, I think, is still ahead of him. He's still learning which shots to take, which shots to pass on, when to reverse the ball still, and things like that. And him and Terrence, Terrence figured it out a little bit quicker, and that's why you saw the success so early in the season for him, and it's progressed nicely now. But, those two have been coming on strong. We rely heavily on them for scoring on the perimeter. And I'm excited because they're both sophomores, and they got a lot of basketball ahead of them to get even better.
Your boss from West Texas A&M, Rick Cooper, was on hand for the Wayland Baptist game as he's now the Wayland athletic director. What was it like having your guys play in front of him?
This is the second time we've actually played in front of him. He was at our Mid-America Christian game when we played on the road earlier in the year. Him and I are really close. We talk all the time. We still talk several times each week. I've learned a lot from him over the years. A lot of the stuff that you see on the floor, our team they're doing right now, I learned from him. And so, he's a big part of me as far as a coach and kind of taught me a lot of the things that I know. And so it's fun to have him there, but once the game gets going, you really don't think about the things and the people that are in the stands and things like that. You're really just focused on what can we do to get better as a team? How can we improve each possession? How can we have success on each possession on both ends of the floor? So, as the game gets going, that stuff just kind of goes away.
You have a big core of sophomores on this team. You mentioned Terrence and Lou Dunbar both being sophomores, but three of those guys, Terrence, Jonathan Reed, and Brandon Patton, were former military guys, and so they're a little older. Talk about what it's like having guys like them on the squad.
Well, it adds a sense of maturity to our team because, yes, on paper they are sophomores, but by age, they just bring a different level of maturity and toughness to our team. They've had to be held accountable to be on time, to give your best when your best is required, and things like that. And I'm always appreciative to those three in particular, when we're talking about different things for their background and what they've done for this country. It's a very big thing for our team. We've showed some videos to our team for some different things, and we do understand that that's part of our background as a team, and it's been good for this team. I actually think it's helped us especially because we're in close games. Those guys have had to learn to perform under pressure in a much bigger way than what we're asking to do. So I feel like at times for those guys it's a little bit easier because they've had to perform in extreme pressure. And so I think that just helps our team even more because they're really good in huddles. They're really good in the locker room when things aren't going our way, and it's just been a big part of our basketball team.
I understand that you have a connection with former OCU coach Ray Harper. What is that connection?
You know, I know him just a little bit, not a ton. Coach Harper obviously coached here and had some tremendous success here. And when I took this job, he's one of the first people I called to tell him that I'd taken the job, and he was excited for me and told me some people I needed to get in touch with right away if I was going to be here and try to do this thing right. And so, you know, I've followed his success. Him and I have a very close mutual friend, Mike Mitchell. Mike actually was an assistant here in the early 80s as well. So, you know, there's a lot of people that have been tied into the basketball program here that I've connected with over the years. And it's just neat how they all kind of keep up and they all root for each other. And it's been really good for me to kind of connect with that past of our program and the success that we've had.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Talking to men's basketball coach Vinay Patel. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.